On April 26, 2021, Apple released their latest update, iOS 14.5. Now, this update has actually made some pretty big headlines because of the app tracking transparency feature that was included in the update. If you're a business owner using Facebook ads, Twitter, Snapchat, Pinterest, you'll want to stay tuned because in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what this app tracking transparency means and also how it will affect you as a business owner that is using these platforms. Hi y'all, I'm Vivian Walton, the Seasoned Marketer, and I share marketing tips, tools, and tactics with resourceful business owners. If you're new here, every Monday I release a new marketing video, so if you're into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now or follow me on any one of my other social media accounts. Okay, let's start with the very basics. What is the new iOS 14.5 update that Apple released? The new update is actually comprised of a few key components. Apple introduced easier iPhone unlocking while wearing a mask, so it's a facial recognition update, and AirTags, these tiny wafers that you could put on your keys and phone, so that way you can easily locate and keep up with them. But the biggest and most talked about feature is the app tracking transparency, or what we'll call ATT. Very simply, ATT gives users the choice of whether they want to be tracked across apps and websites. What will that look like? Once the iPhone user does the update and they go to log into an app for the first time, a pop-up box will appear. That pop-up box will look like this and will have the following verbiage. Verbiage that asks, allow app name to track your activity across other companies' apps and websites. Room right underneath the question that will allow the app to include their own verbiage as to what they'll use the data for. More than likely, this verbiage right here will be something along the lines of, your data will be used to deliver personalized ads to you. And then an option for ask app not to track and an option for allow. Now, while everybody seems to be focused on how this will affect Facebook, this pop-up window will appear for every single app that a user has on their iPhone that is collecting data from outside of the app, and that includes Twitter, Pinterest, Snapchat, just to name a few. If an app is not collecting data on a user from outside of their app or platform, this box will not appear. To better understand this, we need to talk about how data is tracked on iPhones and also what Apple is doing by introducing this new ATT feature. iPhones are a little different in the sense that every iPhone is assigned an identifier for advertisers known as an IDFA. Essentially, every iPhone has a number that is used across apps and websites to track what the user is looking at. Prior to this update, apps could share information like what you are searching for or viewing online using this IDFA number across platforms. Which is why you would often notice that if you were looking for a mattress on a website, the next time you logged into Facebook, you'd see ads for mattresses. With this update and through the ATT feature, Apple is essentially wiping these connections. So they are explicitly asking the user to give permission to be able to have these apps share that IDFA number data. If, let's say, I do the update and then I go to my Facebook app to open it for the first time since the update, I have to select that allow option in order for Facebook to receive my IDFA and all of the data that comes with it from the permission that I've given maybe other apps to track me on other sites. So they will not receive that IDFA and the data that comes with it unless I specifically allow them to receive that information. So sure, that's going to affect you as a consumer, but how does this affect you as a business owner who's using Facebook ads or perhaps doing advertising on Pinterest or Twitter? Well, that data simply won't be there. Facebook ads, as well as other social media platforms, have given us as advertisers and business owners a really profound way to be able to pinpoint our target audience in a hyper-targeted way. So whether we do this through retargeting ads or perhaps the demographic and geographic data that Facebook is collecting, a lot of what Facebook has done is not to leverage the data that they're collecting just within their platform, but to leverage the data that they are receiving from other platforms. And so this right here is going to be the pinnacle change that we see in how we utilize Facebook. If Facebook is essentially no longer going to be able to collect this type of data from other platforms on iPhone users that deny them access, well, it's going to make it harder for us as advertisers to ensure that really we are hyper targeting the correct audience that is better suited to buy our products and services. In addition, it's also going to change the way the reporting is going to look on the back end. So it's going to make it harder for us as advertisers to really be able to look at the data and ensure that the data is correct and that we're seeing real-time data reports just like we've been used to this whole time with Facebook. Facebook has an entire page on their Facebook for Business portal that is dedicated to how the Apple iOS 14 release may affect your ads and reporting. Facebook has given us 2 suggestions as far as what we can do as Facebook advertisers to mitigate some of this impact from the Facebook ads space. If you're interested in finding out what Facebook is suggesting for us to do, go ahead and go to www.theseasonmarketer.com/Facebook and sign up for my email list. On Thursday, May 6th, I'm going to send an email out to all my subscribers that has these 2 suggestions included with some directions in there. So if that's something you want to receive, go ahead and sign up for my email list. If you're seeing this video after May 6th, don't worry, go ahead and go to that link. It'll still be active and you can sign up and I'll send you the information. Now, there are a few considerations to keep in mind. As with any update, not all iPhone users are going to go in and update their phones immediately. So you'll probably start to see a gradual shift in your analytics or maybe some of the changes within Facebook ads over the next few weeks or months. It's not going to be all at once like tomorrow. You'll start to see a little bit of that change over time simply as iPhone users decide to make the update on their phone. And as more and more users decide whether or not they want to opt in and allow tracking or to opt out and just ask the app not to track them at all. Additionally, we don't know how many users will select the Ask App Not to Track option. According to Consumer Reports, they printed that commonly cited estimates suggest 80 to 90% of users will choose to block the tracking. Remember to put that in perspective though. You still have a group of Android users that these apps will be able to collect and track data for. So just remember that it's only for the iPhone users, but if it is estimated that 80 to 90% of these iPhone users will select that don't track option, well, it's heavily going to impact the analytics and the data that we're going to be able to tap into on Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Snapchat. And lastly, let's talk about the elephant in the room. According to Statista, in 2020, about 97.9% of Facebook's global revenue was generated from advertising. Now, how much money are we really talking about? Well, in 2020, Facebook ad revenue was close to $86 billion, so that's a fair chunk of change. Most of the headlines surrounding this iOS 14.5 update have been centered on Facebook and how Facebook ads may become less effective, causing advertisers to take their business elsewhere and in turn creating a loss of revenue for Facebook. Now, call me optimistic, but I'm almost certain that since Apple gave us a really big heads up on this, I started hearing inklings of this update back in August of 2020, Facebook is working on a solution or workaround. They simply have to. If close to 98% of their revenue as a company comes from ads, and this privacy feature is going to heavily impact the data that they use to effectively serve ads to consumers, it would be in Facebook's best interest to come up with a solution. And they have flat out come out and told us that. And while Facebook has been the most vocal about sharing their opinions on Apple's privacy feature, keep in mind that this will affect advertisers on other platforms such as Twitter, Snapchat, and also Pinterest. Similar to Facebook, Twitter has also created a page to share information with their business partners on how they plan to really effectively work around or work through this privacy feature. Now, any marketer worth their salt will end this discussion by reminding you that these social media platforms do not make your business. This is the reason that you create and implement a marketing strategy that is diverse and incorporates multiple platforms. Additionally, this is also why you do not solely rely on these companies to provide you with data on your customers. Remember that marketing to your customers does not end when you sell them your product or service. You should be incorporating and finding ways to collect data on your customers throughout their customer journey, even after they have purchased a product or service from you. Additionally, you also should be finding ways to keep in contact with your customers outside of these platforms in the case that they change their algorithms or they change the rules and settings, or if they even go away over time. Remember MySpace? Don't forget, if you want to know what Facebook's 2 suggestions are for us as Facebook advertisers on what we could do to mitigate some of this impact, go to my website, www.theseasonedmarketer.com/Facebook, and sign up for my email list. I'll send an email out on Thursday, May 6th with that information. If it's after May 6th, still go to that web link and I'll go ahead and send you the information. Thanks again for tuning into another Monday Marketing Minute. I'll catch you guys next week, same time and place.